Hey there, everybody. So today we're going to be looking down at how I underwrite and analyze a real estate deal in 15 minutes or less, starting from scratch. So let's get started. I got sent this property. Here's what it looks like currently on the exterior, and here's the address right here. Right now, it's currently sitting at a three-bedroom, one-bath home, and you could finish the basement, turn it into a three to four bed and then two bath at 2,600 square feet. I think it's going to be a little bit less than that because utilities, so probably going to be about 2,400 square feet. Okay, that's what it could be in terms of potential, and this is the size lot. Now, let's flip to another page that I have open here, and let's look at the curb appeal and lot. I'm going to go to Redfin for this one. So hopefully you're following along. And so this is the what Redfin's estimate is at 1.2 million right now. Let's also look at the data. Okay, 1912 year built. That means we're going to be basically down to studs remodel for some things. That means we could run into unexpected um, issues like electrical issues, knob and tube. You could run into lead-based paint. You could run into asbestos in the ceiling tiles, the popcorn ceilings if there's any, in the flooring, all sorts of different areas. You can also run into old school pipe, galvanized piping instead of copper or PEX or PVC. There could be a lot of issues. So your rehab budget is going to be more for an older home like this. Just expect that. Okay. So moving down, let's look at tax assessed. Tax assessed value is $1 million. Okay, what did they say the price was that they're trying to sell the deal at? It was $1,025,000. Okay, well, that may not make sense. Let's find out. Let's go back to here. Let's pull up the map. This is figure out where it's at. So it's in an area kind of in between. It's North Queen Anne area in Seattle, which for those of you who are unfamiliar, here's downtown Seattle corridor. Spacing goes there. Pike Place Market's right there. And so we're just a short hop, skip, and a jump away in North Queen Anne right here. So now let's zoom in and let's look at satellite overview. Okay, well, so we got a fairly quiet lot. We got a lot of trees on the property, so that's an issue. In terms of the location of the home, one of the things we can immediately rule out is if you keep the existing home, you can't really develop it. So just because of the placement of the home, where it's located in the lot, the size of it, also all the trees, access, all of that stuff, you'd have to demo the house in order to develop this lot, which at that price point may not make sense, may not be worth it. So let's look at what a flip would look like. Okay, so to do that, let's go look at some photos that they provided to us as an off-market deal. So we're going to go ahead and look at those photos really quick and see if we can put up some type of analysis. Okay, so now we're going to the photos. So that just needs a new roof. The little exterior detached one-car garage, not a problem. You can keep that there. Um, if you wanted to, you could maybe consider the space to make it a two-car garage, but that's going to cost you probably at least another 15 to 20K, so it may not be worth it. But something to keep in your back pocket as an option, but definitely cleaning the roof off, maybe replacing the roof on your detached garage. Okay, interior, the flooring looks new, paint is new, the trim is new all around the windows, and new blinds are in. They put a new either paint or stuff around the fireplace. Look at the ceiling here. That's all looks new. Again, this is all new. This looks new. This is all looks really good condition. So no repairs here. Here's the unfinished basement. So you would need to put some type of product or floor covering over the stairs because look, they're just concrete stairs. And then to do one of my concerns is the ceiling height down here. So this may not be adequate ceiling height. So based upon these boxes, this does not, and also there's no ingress egress here. And based upon this, the height of everything, I don't think this is actually fits the minimum criteria for a basement remodel because you'd have to dig down into the basement or raise the ceiling height. Because the ceiling height, just so you guys know, when you're looking at basement conversions, basement remodels, basement finishes, you have to have a ceiling height in a basement of, I believe it's 7 feet. I might be wrong. It might be 6'6". I'll throw it into AI while I'm talking with you. Minimum ceiling height of a basement in Seattle. So we'll just kind of wait for the AI to respond. So it is 7 feet. So for habitable living space, they can use as bedrooms, bathrooms, whatever. The bare minimum must be 7 feet ceiling height. To me, this does not look like 7 feet ceiling height. So what does that mean? That means this entire basement, you could turn it into a living space, but that means you have to do a foundation and a basement dig out, which that alone could run you $60,000 to $80,000. So what does that probably mean? It probably means this whole deal is now dead. But for this video's purposes, we'll keep going and exploring. So that's really important, by the way, for you guys who are looking at doing a flip or remodel for, oh, you can finish the basement. Oh, no worries. Well, is the ceiling height at least 7 feet? If it's not, then you can't. Guess what? It still has to stay an unfinished basement or storage. You cannot, you could technically convert it, but you can't ever market it to renters, or as you could never sell it. So if you're flipping it, you couldn't sell it as finished space, and you couldn't add a bedroom and bathroom down here if the ceiling height is less than 7 feet. So now technically, the law does say that you could do a bathroom at 6'8". But again, for everything else, let's just say 7 feet to make it cleaner. So now we're going to go and click for the next photo. So the kitchen, you're probably looking at pushing up the exterior door here. You definitely want to remodel this kitchen. You're probably looking at about 20K, maybe upwards of 25K for the kitchen. New flooring definitely here. So that one's probably another 3 to 4K. So let's just call it 26, 27K total for the kitchen remodel. So that's that one. Again, based upon the size of this furnace and this hot water tank, I don't know if the ceiling heights are 7 feet. If they are, great. Full basement build out. This one's probably going to be, so I believe the actual house is about 1,300 square feet, 1,340. So that means that the basement's probably additional 900 to 1,000 square feet. So a basement build out is going to run you about $60 to $70 a square foot. So if you have 1,000 square feet, that's about 60K. I would say 60, 65K for a basement build out. Call it 60. So on this one, my only concern would be you definitely needs gutters. It's lacking, needs gutters to be replaced. The roof might need to be replaced. The siding, you could probably keep the siding. So this would have to be probably replaced here. You could replace it with like a TimberTech or Trex, or you can just replace it with regular wood. Just make sure to stain it with a outdoor weatherproof stain if you're going to use raw wood. Okay. Make sure that you also use galvanized screws or galvanized nails. Otherwise, the nails will rust. Sorry, nails will rust. So very important. I also maybe see if I can cut this tree down here. It's over encroaching on your home, and it could, the inspectors, appraisers don't like when the tree branches overhang your roof line. There needs to be at least, I think, a 3 or 4 foot setback from the tree limbs to the roof of your house. So just a little tip here. So this is what I mean by the basement also. You cannot use it as, another reason why you couldn't do a bedroom down here is because a bedroom requires what's called ingress egress. So that means these little windows would have to be dug down another 3 feet, maybe a little bit more in depth, and then concrete poured wells with little ladders up the side and you'd have to do a bigger window so that somebody could climb out of the basement bedroom in case of a fire. Just that alone can run you, you know, 6, 7K per window well, and that's including everything. So the dig out, the concrete framing, the concrete pour, the ladder, and the window replacement. Okay, and a web on the interior. So let's go on to the next portion. So, okay, going on. Our garage, good. That looks good. Everything else, exterior looks pretty good shape. Here's the rest of the kitchen. Again, we're just still keeping it at like $27,000. No big deal. Okay, here, uh, not much I would do with this. This you could replace the flooring if you wanted to, but not a big deal. You can keep it. Definitely replace the front door. Or get rid of the cabinet. Again, not too bad, not too shabby. Doors look good. Keep that like the molding, like the trim on the roof line as well as the baseboards. Blinds are good. Yeah, the roof looks like it needs to be replaced. Again, branches in the trees need to be cut down. Replace the front door probably. Replace the back deck for sure. Probably replace the covering on these stairs because look how worn they are. Right? You could maybe um, just sand them and restain. So that might be an option actually. That might not be a bad idea. You just keep your costs down, sand them, restain them. So it's hard to tell because there's not a lot of other photos. There's another photo of the basement. This might be 7 feet from floor to ceiling. So if it is, again, you're probably looking at something like that. But altogether, if you don't have to dig this out, let's just assume that you don't. That's probably, let's call it 60K. That's including some unknown electrical, maybe some plumbing stuff. It's also sewer lines. Sewer line replacements could be very important. So you want to do a sewer scope. Um, so let's go 60K there. Let's do the roof from the garage. Probably another 5K, maybe less. So that's 65. The kitchen's 27. So that's what is that? Almost a bit. Call it over a little bit over 90. Um, some more stuff as well. Let's see. Some other the stairs. Like I said, the exterior deck. Let's call that 10K. Maybe less. Maybe 8. So that's about 100K. Okay, bathroom. So okay, good. I'm glad we continue. Bathroom. This definitely needs remodel. I wish you could make more space. Definitely remove this cabinet because it's really limited on space. Definitely remove this. Remove this entirely and remove this window and probably just do a tub shower combo here and remove this shower here. So tub shower here, remove this window, do this. That's probably at least 12 to $15,000. Now you're 115. Again, not sure if this is 7 feet tall, but again, assuming it is, okay, still not bad. Not too bad here. Definitely would add some lighting there. Okay, so this flooring would need to be replaced. So that's another, let's just say 10K. Because I don't know how far. These photos kind of like are not the best, so I need more photos for sure. Definitely replace the front door. Definitely replace this flooring. Look at this flooring over here. So replace this flooring as well. You don't want these mismatches here. So that's probably, yeah. So let's say 130K, 135. Panel looks good. Do new railings. You have to sand this down. You don't want this pattern on your flooring. Replace the lighting fixtures for 140K. That's it. So now we got all those details down, and we're a little over 15 minutes. I apologize. We go over to this place I like to do because now we just did rehab. Let me pop over and see what they had for rehab really quick. They had 175. Okay, so we're maybe a little bit under that. On repairs, we're maybe 155, 160 total, including landscaping, some new paint on the exterior as well, the deck and everything else, finishing up the basement, so 160, 165. So let's go around here. They're asking $1 million for it. Let's say I looked at some ARVs. ARV, let's look at those really quick. So this one's, not sure what happened. Okay, so this one here is one that's really close, but it's like it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1 car garage, older home. This one too. I think this is honestly probably closer. If you do, we could actually increase the square footage because if you can finish out the basement, you're looking at about 2,300 square feet. So let's do 2,100 to 2,500 and see what that looks like. 4 matches. Okay, what does that put our price point at? 1.5, 1.5, 1.4, 1.5, and what's the age? 1908, 1906, 1911. Okay, so this is all good. 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 1929. Good. That's pending. That's good. Pending is good. That's good as well. All right, so let's go with 1.4 just to be conservative. All right, so we'll go with this estimate. I do think it's going to take let's go just whole time of 9 months. Let's do purchase price. I think they're asking for $1 million. I think that's going to be way too high. Well, let's just run some numbers. Let's do 165. Actually, let's do 175, just like they said. So that does not work. But also, let's look at the financing. Let's do 10% down. Let's do 10% rate. And let's do 1 point. And we get 100% of rehab financing or construction costs covered, the same rates. So actually, we don't. Whatever. We'll include that in. So as you can see, just right here, it is not a deal. So what would this deal make sense at? Well, first of all, it's going to have to start at 9. Let's do just 900 in general. Let's see what we got. Oop, no, not 9 million. Let's do $900,000. Okay, that's pretty good, but not what we're looking for. So for the total ROI, we want to be above 12%. Ideally, in a market like this where it's slow and soft, we want to be closer to 15%. So let's go to and we're at 900K. So let's go to 850. Oops, 850. Oops, 50. And there we go. So we could even go 860, 15.9. Okay, 180 profit, 850. Oh, 870. There we go. Okay, so realistically, even if you could hit this ARV, which is realistic, with these financing terms, you have all your buying costs, you have your carrying costs, you have selling costs. Now, and you also want to have like a 10% contingency. So you could probably do, let's add 10K as other, right? Okay, so that's still pretty good. So let's bring this down to 860 though. There we go. Okay, so 860, you have a 10K just slush fund. You have all your financing for hard money loan. You have your carrying costs, your selling costs, all built in. Here's all your totals right here. Your purchase price, ARV, so after it's all finished, what you can sell it for, buying costs, your carrying costs, selling costs, resale profit, total profit, cash in, and cash ROI, and total ROI. There you go. So for this deal, off market that was sent to me, they're asking for $1,025,000, and as you just saw, they're way too high. It needs to be 860, maybe 870. Okay. So if you got this deal and you're looking at it and you have the funds and you're interested, now you know. Because full breakdown. And this is public deal right now, so I'm not going to buy it. But if anybody is interested in buying this deal, I can direct you to it, and you're welcome to go and buy this deal and see if they can sell it to you for 860 or 870. And you're already locked in. You know, hey, this is how much it's going to be. And also, I'm a general contractor. I'd have to walk through it. I'd have to see if the basement height is 7 feet. If it is 7 feet, I'm happy to do the construction for you. Okay, so like and subscribe. Let me know if this was helpful and useful for you. I'm sorry I did not stick to the 15 minutes. I went through a lot though. Hopefully I provided a lot of in-depth information and value. I showed you some cool tools, etc. Looked at the photos, looked at curb appeal, looked at location, looked at everything else, looked at the basement remodel, ceiling height, gave you some information about ingress, egress, window wells, costs, estimates, stuff like that. Again, my rehab, just from looking at pictures and eyeballing it, was pretty close to theirs. And mine could be at theirs, or it could be a little bit more, again, depending on the basement. The basement's really the big determining factor. And this is with a full basement build out remodel, adding a bedroom and a bathroom as well, just so you guys know. All right. Good boy.